everything you find at CarolJo's.com. CarolJo's is an online jewelry and accessory business for women, but we do more than just the selling of jewelry. This platform here on social media is more about bringing everybody together as a positive community where we can show you different things like having chat times, which we have one here on both YouTube and TikTok at 8 p.m. Hi, August. And so that is where you can bring all your questions. So if you'd like to think about the questions you want to ask about making jewelry, running a small business, that type of thing, and bring them to 8 p.m. Central tonight, that would be awesome. Thank you for the heart me, August. I appreciate that. We also do the selling of the items. So hi Gladys. So when you see items here, some of them are up for sale in future lives. Hey Melissa. And even one of the charms that I used for the example, we had that up in the last week for sale. So we're using things and bringing it to you so that you can make what we are creating here. Thank you for all the shells. I appreciate that. And so we've got that. And then today we have a tutorial. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make the second anklet for this week. And it is called, and I've got it on my little cone here because I don't have my anklet display anymore. But this is what I call, I'm going to show here on TikTok first, and then I'll bring it over to YouTube. This is what I'm calling the Wanderlust bracelet. It's where you use beads and charms to create like a bohemian style anklet. Here you go over here on YouTube. So you'll need charms of some sort. You're going to need beads. Hi, Geraldine. I know, it just like, who would have thought that this was that gray charm that we had up for sale? It doesn't even look gray when you put it up against there. It brings out the blue hue of it. And then these beads were some of the beads that I've had in my own collection. But yep. Hi, Mia. And then we have the chain. You will also need, for the closure, I used 2 6mm split rings and the lobster clasp. So that is what we used for the components, the supplies. You also will need, not the crimp pliers, you will need the split ring pliers to help you with getting that split rings on, and a flat nose plier or chain nose plier. Why couldn't I think of the name of that plier all of a sudden? So you'll probably need to have 2 of those. And that's what you'll need for tools. So it's a very, oh, no, I take that back. You'll also need, with the beads, the round nose plier and the cutter. Let me find my cutter. Flush cutter. I forgot one. Nope. Yep, we'll need it. I was thinking we only had the beads. Nope, not that one. I might have put them away. I put away the jump rings I want. My bracelet holder. I didn't want, what? Help me out, they're not so perfect. I'm like, huh? Oh, this here? Two Tots 2020, thanks for the follow. I purchased this. It comes flat. So you can get these sizers, and it is called an easy bracelet. Easy bracelet. Make that. It has here the 2-sided tape on it, or tape on there so that it'll do it. But I've had mine for so many years. When I first got it, put tape on the outside and on the inside to just make it hold. You can print them off, but sometimes when you print them off, because printers are just a little bit different each, the sizing can be off just a little bit. So you will also need head pins, everybody. Why am I forgetting about the findings that we need today? Boy, jump rings. I'm getting the jump rings really quick. Whew. And I even had this in my head already that we're going to talk about it. And as I'm like, we're going to be talking about this next. And I'm like, I don't have that item. So I forgot to grab them. After I made my example, I put everything away, and I shouldn't have. But I am going to use, and this is a bag of 5mm stainless steel, hi Ashley, jump rings that are a 17 gauge. I am using a thicker gauge jump ring with these. The reason being is that this is on your ankle. You're going to be hitting things. It's going to take a little bit more abuse than like a necklace would or earrings. It's about right up there with a bracelet. It's kind of hard to put these on, some of these charms on split rings, and get them to stay. So that's why I use a larger gauge wire for my jump rings when I'm using them, and I'm using jump rings on a bracelet or an anklet. I would prefer to use the split rings, but getting them onto charms sometimes is difficult, and you'll fly your split rings all over the place. So I'm going to use jump rings today, which I don't use a whole lot of, as you guys know. All right, so that's number one that I wanted to tell you about and what you need. If you can get split rings on there to do it, I would say go for it. The other thing is and I'm picking out a whole bunch that are bent ones, because you know I buy mine in bulk in a big bag and they come bent sometimes. With your head pins, I just use the flat one. You can use the round ball ones if you like. That's your preference. It just gives it a little bit more of a polished look when you use the round versus the flat. But I just use sometimes the shortest ones I can find, because you're just going to use one bead on there. And it's going to be a 6mm-ish size bead. So you don't need really long head pins. I could have even probably gone with smaller ones than these, but it's what I grabbed really quick. The smallest one I could grab quick when I was starting to do these yesterday. So you can use like a 25 or a 30mm. These are 40. And I would say 40 is going to be plenty big. I would not go to a 50 or above. Okay. So that's the size head pins you're going to need. What I did to create, I've already put out my pattern because I had it in my head after I picked out the charm. So the first thing I did was picked out my charm. This is the charm I'm going to use. Does the same charm need to be used throughout the entire bracelet? Oh, heck no. If you want your bracelet to tell a story about the person that's wearing it and have different charms throughout the bracelet or the anklet, go for it. I'm just making this. I just thought that it was just a fun, flowery, summery charm. So that's why I grabbed it. And then at first, I'm going to point you guys down so you guys can see the beads that I have set up and why. I'll tell you what I did. And I do not have my backup account, so let me bring up my backup account to make sure that we are within camera. I might need to do this. Is that better? I totally did not bring up my backup account today. I just went right on into our intro and didn't even stop there. Okay, so give me a second because I can't see comments on both YouTube and TikTok when you guys are pointed down. And since you are pointed down, I will bring up my backup account of TikTok so I can see TikTok comments. I do not have a backup account of YouTube. Yep, you guys can see it. So as you can see, I have like 2 beads, a charm, 2 beads, a charm, 2 beads, a charm, and then I repeated my colors. I went with 8 different colors. We've got blue, yellow, orange, purple, or 6 colors, sorry. Blue, yellow, orange, purple, green, and pink. You can do whatever colors you want. Here on this example, I used the same bead throughout each one. I used the same charm. You can mix it up and use different charms on each one of these, different beads on each one of these. It's whatever you want to do. And I thought on the chain here that I'm using, I would do a bead, bead, charm, bead, bead, charm, and work my way through. So it doesn't have to be the same pattern that I'm showing you. You can make it your own. But the thing about it is make it so it is summery and you've got that and the name of the anklet is called Wanderlust. The reason why I chose that, it means that you're traveling or inspired to be travel or to go places and that type of thing. And so when I look at this one with the flowers and with the colors, I just think in my head that you're going for like a walk, or you're going to the beach, or you're going someplace in the nice summer day. So you're wandering. So that's why I went with the colors I did. Here with this one, with the color of the beads and of the charm, I was thinking this one is that we are going to the ocean. Literally, that's what I thought, is a trip to the ocean. So that's what this is about, is it's to inspire you to think about what colors would you use and what charms would you use if you were to travel. It doesn't mean you have to go to a water place. It could be that you just want to go to, like right now, every place that has tulips growing, it's tulip festival time. So you've got flowers and all the colors of all the tulips type thing. So it's really based around travel. Where would you want to travel, and what kind of charms and colors would go with it? Hi, Pauline. How are you today? So that's what you will need to do to pick out your beads, is that you will need to get your inspiration from travel. All right. Now, anklets. The average size of an anklet is anywhere from 9 to 10 inches. Unless you're like me, and we proved last night, mine is over 10 inches. My wrist is small. My ankle is not. So we all have different size bodies. So that's why it's an average. Yep, this morning, or this afternoon, it is tutorial day. So I'm going to go with a 9.5 inches of chain, because we're going to put our closure on it, and that's going to take us to about between 9 3/4 and 10 inches. For the closure, I need, and I got to get these out yet, so just bear with me, 2 split rings and 1 lobster claw. So my lobster claw clasp is a 12 by 6 millimeter size lobster claw clasp. So this is my closure. I always just test this out before I put it on there. My split rings are 6 millimeter size split rings. So the first tool you're going to need is a split ring opener, and we're going to use this little dangle down part to go towards the edge of the split ring. Just like when you're going to put a key on a key ring, you want to open that up. Grab this and just put it on. Except for I moved when I went to do that. So he didn't get on there. There we go. There we go. It's on there a little bit. I grab my flat nose pliers or chain nose pliers and just spin it around. And now I have my closure on a split ring. So when I open up my chain, I buy my chain mostly with unsoldered links, meaning that each link will open up. It is not welded shut. So I take 2 pairs of my chain nose pliers, just like you open a jump ring, one towards you and one away from you. Open that link, take off. You see how that's opened? I'm trying to show you there. One's towards you and one's away. And then open that up, take half of your closure, put it on, and then close it up by going the opposite way that you did to open it. So you're bringing them back together and get them right next to each other without a space in between, so that it doesn't open or you don't lose your clasp. So that's what we want. And if you look at right here, I'm going to hold this here. You will see that there isn't any room right here where those 2 pieces come back together. On our other end, we are going to open this up and put our closure on and close it. For those that don't know, the reason why you open up your jump rings, your links and everything one away and one towards like this is so that you don't distort the shape. If you would take it and do it this way, your oval or your circle has lost its shape when you go back together. So that is how that closure works. I'm going to open this up. I am going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 links in each inch, and we have 9.5 inches. So I'm going to get my calculator out and do some math. 9.5 times 6 is 57 links. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 items to put on it. So that's like every 3.35 chains that we want to put one in. Now that's not great math because it's not 3 or 4. So it means that you have the discretion to be like, do I move it to the left or to the right as I go through? But that's how you can decide where you're going to put them all down this one. Does that make sense how I did the math really quick? Please let me know if you want me to explain more. And my iPad for the backup is going to need to be plugged in. So let me charge here. There we go. All right. Oh no. Buttercup did not charge our YouTube phone. Let me go get another charger because that's in red almost. It is red. The other one's almost red. All right, I'm going to plug a charger in and get that one so I don't lose you on YouTube today. All right. Sorry, I don't normally have to charge 2 devices. I was like, oh, I haven't charged my iPad since yesterday. There we go. All right. Whew. All right, sorry about that. Now, I'm going to go and get some head pins here for my beads and put them all on head pins. That is a very small hole bead. Is that going to go on? I might have to get a different purple because there we go. Yep, we got it. Okay. And I am using glass beads, glass pearls. I chose all transparent beads except for that glass pearl for this. I just couldn't, my orange beads, I wanted orange in it, and my orange glass beads are up high that I have to get a ladder to get them, and I didn't want to do that. One thing I always do so that my holes are consistent in my round part of my, when I create my dangles, I put a black mark on my round nose plier tool. That's where I'm going to line up each time and not guess, oh, should I be here or should I be there? I literally always just put a black mark. It will wear off. Line that up with my black mark, go 50 or 90 degrees away. So if I go this way, you'll see where that's out from there, 90 degrees. I reposition my tool 45 degrees in that angle and bring this around. Reposition my tool, and then I have a circle. I do have a YouTube video on this that goes through this step by step from where I am sitting now down, and it's a better description of it. Today isn't about learning how to do the dangles. It's using that dangle technique to be able to create jewelry. So what I would say is, if you're not familiar with this, how to create the dangle techniques here that I'm showing you, then go watch that video and then create the anklet. All right. And all I'm doing is creating the circle at the top of each one of my dangles all at once, so I don't have to keep picking up the tool and putting it down. That adds extra time every time you have to pick up a tool. And so I want to decrease my production time if I'm doing this to sell. So I just always do this step. Usually I try to do it all at the same time. Not all of us do the jewelry to resell. So if you're not, you can just do it one at a time. But I just want to help out those that are doing this so that they can create as much as possible. And you can even tell, as we've gone through, you can see my black line is getting less. All you do is put it together and put it back on there. And also another thing that I was going to say is, when I was trying to put that purple bead on these head pins, you heard me say that that purple bead has a smaller hole. Not all beads have the same size hole. There are different gauges to head pins, which means I could have had a smaller gauge, or, like the number would be bigger, like a 22 gauge head pin rather than a 20 or a 21 head pin to get that bead in there. But that means that to keep everything consistent and looking the same, I would need to change out and make sure all of my head pins for that project use the same head pin. All right, I'm going to get the ruler out of the way. We're going to start assembling. We're going to grab the first of the color dangles. I use my round nose pliers more times than not for this, because they are small and you can get in there. Go over from the closure. So the closure is 1, 2, 3. Except for you got to get it in there. Oh, I dropped it. 1, 2, 3. We're going to put that piece on the bottom. And to me, the bottom is towards you, the viewers here. And then just wrap this around. You can use a one-step looper on this if you like. If doing the wire wrap technique for putting the dangles on is not easy for you, the thing is that when you go to close those jump ring or the hole or the circles on those, you need to make sure that they are tightly shut. Because like I said earlier, the anklet is going to take a lot of abuse. 1, 2, 3. We're going 3 over, and we're going to put this one in. And because it's going to take a lot of abuse, if you don't make sure that those are completely shut, you're going to lose your color dangles. I use the technique here that I'm using with the wire wrap, where you're wrapping that tail of that head pin around the wire just to make it secure. There we go. Now, for the charms, we're going to use that 5mm jump ring, just like when we did our links. One is going towards you and one is going away. Open it up, put your charm on. Now this is one step that I want to say. You got to make sure that all your charms, if you're using a one-sided charm, and what I mean is that the back side of your charm looks different than the front side. You want to make sure you put these all on the same, facing the same direction. So 1, 2, 3. And I think I'm going to try to just do 3 in between. If I need to make mine shorter, because I'm not making this for, like, I got a request to make it or anything. I'm just making this one. He fell off. There we go. There we are. So we've got that charm on. He is a dangler. He wants to dangle. And I'm seeing on the camera that that is not a clear cut on the yellow bead. So I need to go back in and cut it closer. Be careful when you cut like that. I just shot that up to the ceiling and it flew across my room. So there you go. And if you notice, I am putting these on what I call the bottom. There we go. There, he was stuck in there. You can put them on the top, but then they're going to dangle down over the chain. And if it gets on the inside, it will hurt the inside of your ankle. Some of the chain won't lay like this. There will be other types of chain that you might use. I would say lay your chain down and see where it just naturally falls. Hi, Julia. Sorry, I cannot see comments as easy when I'm pointing down. So I apologize if you said that earlier and I didn't say hi back. Now we're going to go 1, 2, 3 again and put on our next bead. So now we're going to do 2 more beads and then a charm. And we're just going to repeat this pattern all the way to the end. And sometimes I've found I just have to lay this down to make sure I'm putting it on the right side between each item. 1, 2, 3. Go right here. And every chain, depending on the style of chain that you use, will be different of where you need to place your beads and charms for this anklet. Okay, we got those 2 done. Now we're going to put on another charm. Okay. 1, 2, 3. There we go. That one was easier to get on. Nope, he was not. He decided he should jump off. The charms don't want to go on the anklet today for some reason. They just want to be left alone. All right, let's see where we're at. Make sure everything's looking right. Yep. See how they're facing? These 2 are facing the same way. We don't have one doing this. I mean, you'll notice that. I tried to listen to audiobooks and I just could not do it. All right. Hold on. I need to there we go. It's laying now. One kept flipping on the opposite side. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there you go. See, and when I had my LASIK done, you can't watch TV, you can't sleep, you cannot read a book, cannot be on a computer or a tablet. So it's a very boring day, the day you have LASIK. And so I thought, you know, I'm going to try audiobooks. Hi, Candy. and it just didn't work for me. All right, 1, 2, 3 for our next bead. And we're going to wrap this one around. There we go. There. We're almost done with 1/2 of the pattern for this. Come on out. Don't get stuck in my pliers there. The chain got into, there we go. Now, does anybody notice right here, my chain is like crazy. It is not laying like it should. And so I want to just mess with it and get it back to laying like it should, so that I can select the right side. There we go. All right. This. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Whoa. It's not closed yet, so I got to get this better. Just need to wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. There we go. He's closed now. There is half of our anklet. Oh yeah, that would be really cool. That's half of our anklet. I'm going to see where we're at for links. We're at 4.5. So that means I might have to take off just a few links off the end and make a little bit over a 9-inch bracelet with the pattern that I've created. If I wanted to go to the full 10, I would have like 3, 4, 3, 4 type scenario. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Put that one on. All right. For this anklet, when I picked out those beads prior to going live, just to let you know, it took me about 5 minutes to pick out 1, 2, 3, to pick out the charm and go in that one. There we go. To pick out the charm and the beads. So I didn't spend a ton of time hunting and looking. I just made quick decisions. And my thought process behind when I picked them out is that I wanted different colors that just remind me of flowers, of like travel, you know, just going to go see flowers. Well, Jiminy Christmases. I don't have that many people on a live ever. I show 16. Hi, Deborah. If I had that many, I would be like, what? We have 6.4K on the likes, and we have shares. We only have 1. If we can get 2 before we get off the live, 10 shares, 2, 3, and 10K likes, we'll do a giveaway. Come on through to the other side. There we go. That one went together very easily. Okay. Let's see. Are you on the bottom? There we go. 1, 2, 3. The chain that I am using is my favorite chain to use. It is a 6x4 millimeter link chain. I use this on a lot of things. I got it back in stock again, and I just need to bring it to live. I don't know that I'm going to bring it to this Friday night's live, but we will, or Saturday, because we're not doing Friday night this week. But it'll be up for sale here again soon. Thank you, Lisa. It is Riverstone is the type of bead it is. If I could get more of this bead in stock, I sure would, but I cannot. It's a very simple necklace. It's just two sizes, a 12 and a 10, or 12 and 8. I can't remember the sizes off the top of my head. Size bead with a 3 millimeter bead in between each one. I thought I had one of these charms on backwards, but I do not. There we go. All right, we're going to do another charm. Once again, towards and away. Charm on. And we'll count down. 1, 2, 3. Go in. There we go. I'm being very particular about how I put my charms on, from the simple fact that it's one. Oh, that would be cool. So that they all face the same way. There we go. Those are all on the right side. Is he on the right side here? Yes, he is. Okay. Now we have a couple more beads. We might be able to just do it with one more charm and get to the end of it. Let's see. You're in that one. 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh. Well, whoever said it, retype it in a different way so that we can know what your comment was. And we don't have Miss Jade coming on to say, who said a no-no? Okay, that one. He wants to twist around. And I don't want him to twist around. I want you to lay like that. So 1, 2, 3. But what was it they were saying about the trends, and it didn't like it? All right, I have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, I might be able to get another one on. Let me grab another one of these. Okay. I'm not going to have a complete one, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to finish this one out. 1, 2, 3. Go on. There we go. Then I'm going to grab another of the blue and the yellow. Oh, and the blue. There's the blue. I love to crochet, but what I figured out with my crochet is I can't do a whole lot of it. Like right now, my niece is crocheting a lot of the different, like, I call them like a plushie, you know, the crocheted animals. And she's learning how to do all those. I can't do that. I literally cannot do that. Thank you, Angela, for coming into, now they call it, instead of the like the Heart Me, they used to have it as, I can't remember the name. Now it's called a fan club. I'm like, I don't feel like I have a fan club. I just feel like we have more people in our community. Okay, 1, 2, 3 right there. Yep, that's about me too. I can't do circles. My great grandma, she would make bouquets out of yarn crocheting, and she amazed me. And the thing is, she never could read a pattern. She was not taught to crochet using a pattern. Do I have him on the wrong side? I have him on the wrong side, I think. Nope. Hold on. Nope, they're on the right side. Whew. I thought I was on the wrong. And this is going to take us right to the edge here. Right there. All right. I'm going to take this one off of my, I really wish I had something that I could display these on. Once again, it's a little bit bigger than 10. And some of my charms are not hanging right. Let me flip it this way. There we go. And oh, that's my closure. But there it is. There's the closure right there. But doesn't that just, I think, a field of flowers with all those different colors. Thank you, dollies. I'm like so excited about this one. Let's get you down. There you go. He was just trapped up on the upside. Yep. So that's what I wanted to teach you guys today, is that I'm going to bring this up so we can talk. There we go. And this one is the bracelet size one. It just goes larger for me. Ashley last night was talking about her stops at like 9. Mine goes down to 12.5. So I got the closure right there in the front. Let me move that there. So this is what you would see, like if you put it so that the closure is on your inside of your ankle. This is what you would see on the outside of your ankle. And to me, that's just cool. Yep, mine does too. Hers does not. I'm like, I'm glad I got the one I got. So if anybody needs the cone to help them with sizing, it's called Easy Bracelet. Easy, B-R-A-C-E-L-E-T. And it's easybracelet.com is what's on here. I actually went to Etsy and got mine almost dropped it, off of Etsy, you can do that. Oh, no. I hope everything's going to be okay, Miss Rainbow. But that's literally how you can make this. As always, he's on the wrong side. He's got to go down and around. There we go. As always, you can watch the replay of this over on YouTube. I will save all of them after we get done. They are always saved there so that if you want to learn it and if you purchase the supplies later and want to redo it, that's where you guys can go and do that. So those of you that are on TikTok, to get to mine YouTube channel, just go to CJS logo at the top for CarolJo's, down below for the CJS again, and that gets you to my profile. In my profile, there is a line in there that says lemonade on one side and more on the other. Touch that line. You get 2 boxes down below. The bottom one that has tree in it, touch that, and that will send you to a list. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, that is where my YouTube is at. And then that'll take you over to YouTube, and then you can subscribe there. And when you subscribe, then you can turn on notifications of any time I upload. I totally got what you were trying to say there, Rainbow. You have like things that you need, your poor pups. And so you can always do that. I have different social medias. I have Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I do Pinterest, but I do not do a whole lot on Pinterest. And then I also have TikTok. My biggest following is, I will say, on TikTok. So I do a lot more lives there. I go live with my sales on TikTok. I go live on YouTube and TikTok for any tutorials and any of my chats. And that way you can rewatch any of those that you have or that you would like to see. But if you like what you're seeing, please subscribe and please follow so that you can come back and follow in on all the different things that we do here in the community. Tonight at 8 p.m., I will be live with a chat. So if you have any type of question about jewelry making, about doing your small business, if you're running the small business for your jewelry, come in and we as a community talk about it, because not one of us knows all the answers to everything. We as a community can work all together and answer questions. So that is what we do on chat times. Tomorrow at 11 a.m., we are going to have what I call bring back sale. It is items, and these items will be exactly 6 months old. They are from, some of them are older, but some of them are from 11/9 of 24. So it'll be 6 months in between the last time we had these up for sale and that we're bringing them back. There are not high quantities on all of the items, so it is what we have is what we have. And so that's what we'll be doing tomorrow. My sales are on TikTok only, like I said earlier. So if you are on YouTube and would like to partake in that, come over to CarolJo's LLC on TikTok and find me there. The logo is the same. So that's how you can tell this if you've got the right one. My logo is the same across all my social medias, and it's what my profile picture is. So it makes it easier for you to know, do I have the right one? So you can come over and watch it. We just go through each item on the live. I am getting things ready today for it. We will have a few donuts. We have some larger lobster class. We have some frosted beads. I am trying to figure out when I will be selling some more chain. I haven't gotten all of my items together for Saturday sale yet. We do have the polymer clay Heshy beads that we used, not the exact same colors that we used for these, but we'll have different colors that are new colors or refills of colors, because I got those in this week. And we will have those for sale on Saturday. We have 6 colors in 4 millimeter, and we have 33 colors, I believe it is, in 6 millimeters. And then I got to grab stuff to fill in the rest of the show. So that is what we have so far picked out for the show on Saturday. I will go and try to find some acrylic beads, some gemstones. I can look and see if I can grab one of the chains. We just have not checked in the chain that I'm using today. It hasn't been checked in yet. So that's why I don't know if I'll be able to grab that. Just depends on how much time I get to do it tomorrow. And we'll get everything ready for Saturday morning sale. We'll do that sale at 10 a.m. Saturday morning. Hey, we did get there. I am like talking about stuff so that we can get to 10K. If you guys didn't notice, I wanted to do the giveaway. We have individuals on both YouTube and on TikTok. Everybody is invited to participate in the giveaway. What we do is I will select a color. Once I put that into TikTok, there's a game mode that I can do that with. Then everybody has a chance to win. So you will need to put colors into the chat also here, YouTube, okay? So let me pick the color. All right, I finally picked a color. Go ahead, everybody, put colors in the chat. Both of you on TikTok and YouTube can do that. And I don't have a piece. Oh, yay. So I got to sit here and then I got to go grab a piece of thing to write down who the winner is. And I stay here because if YouTube is doing that, then I will make sure who's winning here. And we do have 2 people who guessed it over here on YouTube, or TikTok, I mean. Rainbow and Rosie both guessed it correctly. Rainbow came in first. You guys were both you're like milliseconds away. So the color was magenta. Now I need to go grab something so I can write down that Rosie was, or not Rosie, it's Rainbow. Rainbow. All right. Congratulations. Today is 5/8/25. And you are going to win. I'm going to do the same thing as yesterday. You're going to get $5 off of your invoice. You guys are both really close. I thought that was amazing. So I'll just put it on your invoice there, Rainbow, and then you'll have $5 off of that. All right. I am going to hop off here and continue to get everything ready. I'm almost done with Friday's items. And then I had the ladies working on Saturday's items. So I will get that one hopefully done today. Hopefully. So that tomorrow I can spend some time with my husband after our live, and then we got graduations after that. So that's the plan anyways. So we'll see you all back later here at 8 p.m. Central for chat time. Have a good afternoon and see you tonight. Bye.